Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of an average programmer. Today we will solve the problem 605 of LeetCode, which is Kim Place Flowers. Today's video is going to be shorter because yesterday's was quite lengthy. So yeah, let's start reading our problem. I'm going to use the same solving technique from my past videos, which is plan, coding, and explain. So let's start reading. You have a long flower bed in which some of the plots are planted and some are not. However, flowers cannot be planted in adjacent plots. Okay? So given an integer array flower bed containing zeros and ones, where zeros means empty and one means not empty, and an integer n, we need to return true if the m flowers can be planted in the flower bed without violating the no adjacent flowers rule and false otherwise. Okay, so here we have our first example. Here we want to plant one flower, and this is the flower bed. So if we can see, we can put this flower over here and we will not break the rule of adjacent plots. Okay, so we will return true. And I'm going to be showing you some other examples. Okay, so in this case, I want to plant one flower. So let's see our flower bed. If we see, we have two empty spots and three non-empty spots. So what can we do in this occasion? We can put this plant over here and we will not break the rule of adjacent plants. So that means that we can return true for this example. Let's see the other one. In here, I would like to plant one flower, but if we see our spots, we have this one and this other one. But if I plant my flower over here, I will break the rule of adjacent spots because I will have one plant over here and another flower over here. And it's going to be the same if I want to plant my flower over here. So in this case, I cannot plant one flower. So I'm just going to return false. Let's see our edge cases. What would happen if I want to put one flower in an empty spot? In this case, it is possible because I can just put the flower over here and I can assume that there are not going to be another flowers adjacent to my flower. Okay? So in this case, I can plant my flower. So I will return true. So let's see our next example. Here we have that our flower bed is filled with flowers. But in this case, I do not want to put any flowers in my flower bed. So this would be true. Okay, so now that we just saw the edge cases and some examples, let's think about one solution. Okay, so first, we need to see how many flowers do I want to plant in my flower bed. So if I don't want to put any flowers, then I will just return true. So I don't need to scan the flower bed. Okay. So now, if there are flowers that I want to plant, I need to check each cell. So let's think, or let's pretend that we will have a person that is going to be watching the adjacent cells or the adjacent parts of the flower bed. Okay, so let's first think and say, okay, I want to put one flower. Okay, so in each cell, I'm just going to close my eyes, and if there is a flower that is at the right or at the left, I will open the eye that corresponds to each side. Okay, so in this case, since there are no flowers adjacent to this spot, I can plant my flower. So I will put my plant over here. Okay, but at this point, we do not need to keep scanning the whole flower bed because we just planted the flower that we wanted to put. Okay, so in this case, we will return true. But what would happen if I have 2? Let's pretend that now n is equal to 2. So let's remove this one. And okay, this place is a good place to plant my flower. So I will put my flower over here and we will move our person to the next cell. But in this case, since there are 2 flowers that are adjacent to this spot, I will open my eyes. So if I have both eyes open or just one eye open, I will not be able to put the flower. Okay, so in this case, this is not a good spot, so I skip this spot. I will check the other one, and in this case, I can see that there is a flower over here, so we cannot put or plant any flower in this part. So we will skip this part. Okay, let's see the other cell. It's the same, and for the last cell, it's the same. Okay, so we were not able to put the two flowers that we wanted to plant. Okay, so in this case, we will return false. No, so now let's go back to our code. So here's the solution, and let me put some comments to understand better the algorithm. So this is for the case that there are not flowers to plant. Okay, now we will iterate through the flower bed, and each time the in a different cell, we can say that the adjacent cells are, we will say that we cannot plant the flower. If there's a flower at the right, it will say that we cannot plant the flower. And if there is not a flower and the adjacent cells are empty, we can plant the flower. If there are not more flowers to plant, we return true. Okay, so this is the solution, and let me submit it. Good. So the time complexity for this would be order of n, because the worst case would be that we find a good cell at the end of the flower bed. Okay, so that was all, and thank you for watching the video, and see you in another one. Bye.